Alright guys, welcome to the Q&A, Gargoyles Q&A. Yeah, this came out quick, but before we go any further, let me introduce our guest for this Q&A. Actually, you introduce yourself.
My name is Greg. I've got a YouTube channel called GregXB3 because my previous ones were killed for copyright violation. And major Gargoyles fan, have been since the show premiered back in October 1994, and I'm happy he asked me to participate in this Q&A. Thank you.
No problem. Also, if you hear any other sounds, my sister left her new cat in my room, so now I have to watch this thing while doing the Q&A. That's wonderful.
Delightful.
It's now licking my finger with its sandpapery tongue. Anyway.
I would say right now, Cagney is not my favorite character on the show.
What?
At least it's cat.
Okay. So our first question is, Amoya Reviews asks, I know this is a boring question, but I've got to know, what are some of your favorite episodes? Speed rounding it real quick. City of Stone, the start of the Avalon Saga. I can't really say the Avalon Saga in general, but
well, it's like 21 episodes.
Yeah, it's like 21 goddamn episodes. The end, the story with Oberon, where Oberon, the Gathering, the two-part Gathering,
yeah. Which we named our annual conventions after.
Yeah, well, former conventions, I'm told.
Yeah, former. Well, 13 was a good run.
Yeah, 13, that's good. What was I gonna say? In terms of others, the pilot, the 5-part pilot.
Awakening, yes.
Awakening.
I've got this all in my head.
Yeah, we planned earlier, because for those who don't know, we recorded this, and then my sister came in and was like, you need to watch my cat. Damn it. So, anyway.
Yeah, my favorite episodes, I've got a bunch I like, but if I had to narrow it down, my favorite multi-parter is City of Stone. I think it's terrific. I love all the real Scottish history there, the true history of Macbeth. Although you can tell the parts of it aren't historically accurate, but it's more historically accurate than the play. Much more. Love finding out Damona's backstory at last. It's a very emotional story. It really defines her. She's got two defining quotes in this. The first one being, what have they done to you, when she discovers the stone gargoyles, and then at the end when she says the access code is alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well done. I mean, those two moments really define her for me. And my favorite single episode has got to be The Price, which is the one where Xanatos captures Hudson to experiment with the culture of life to gain immortality. It's a great episode.
Yeah. If I were to pick a single episode that I enjoyed, that's a tough one.
The most popular answer to this is either The Mirror or Future Tense, which are both great episodes. I love them, but I think enough people praise those. I don't need to.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, thank you for that question and your reviews. Now we're going to go on to, you know what, I'm not even going to, I've tried 1,000 times to pronounce his name, so I'm just going to call you Sailor Moon Girl. There you go. Because you've got a little icon of Sailor Moon, so there you go. Sailor Moon Girl asks, what aspect of Damona's character arc was your favorite? Me, personally, it was her complex relationship with Macbeth.
This is going to sound like a cop-out, but I can't really zero in on one thing, because she's such a complicated character. Take one thing out, and I don't know. It's like the whole everything, every aspect is important. The whole ball of wax. I mean, I can't zero in on a single thing. Her backstory of Macbeth is great. Her relationship with Goliath is great. Her relationship with Angela has a lot of potential. Disney, let Greg make more comics so we can see what happens next there.
Yep.
But what about you? What's yours?
I'm going to agree with her, is that her relationship with Macbeth, as well as her kind of need to, put her blame on everyone else but her. Even though she's pretty much for the 90% cause, 95% cause of everything.
Hello?
That was the cat.
Yeah,
It sounded like an air balloon coming, like you're releasing air from a balloon.
Okay, you said she was 95% responsible for what happened. And yeah, that's the thing. I've often said that she has a guilt complex as big as Peter Parker's, but he internalizes it. She does, and she projects it onto everybody else because, hey, it's never her fault.
Yep.
Throw them in a room together sometime, see what happens.
I'm pretty sure that happened in the,
We'll get to that.
yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that happened in the radio play.
Yeah.
But
we'll get to that.
in case, all right, so that question comes from Grimlock 1992. In case you did not get mine, you did not get my question. What is your favorite Gargoyle clan aside from the Goliath, from the Manhattan clan? Mine is the Green Clan. Okay, the Mayan clan. Okay, but
yeah, Zafiro, Obsidiana, Hade, and Turquesa from Guatemala. Yeah, the Mayan clan. They're great.
Yeah, they're great. I really like the design of them.
Yeah.
But the Mayan clan's cool, the Japan clan's cool, but for me, I gotta go with the London clan.
Una, Leo, Griff, and then in the comics you had Stagheart, Constance, Orpog, and Lunette, and apparently almost 200 others. They're a big clan.
Yeah. I just kind of wonder, where the hell did the other ones come from? Also, this cat makes a lot of noise. I don't know if the mic's going to pick up the cat, but...
Yeah. I hear the cat. Anyway, my favorite has to be the Clone Clan, especially after that story arc in the comics, issues 3 through 5, watching Delilah lay down the law with both Goliath and Thalag. I mean, she really came into her own there, and I really enjoyed that story.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for that question. Now we're going to move on to, give me a second, I will pull up the rest of the questions here. So the next question comes from Travis Rendon, who asks, if you could create a gargoyle for the show, what would their backstory and appearance be?
You go first.
I don't really have one. I really never really create characters because Greg Weisman has made such great characters. I'm just like, I can't make a character that could compare with them. I did try to create one character that was like it was more like a villain. It wasn't a gargoyle per se, but it was more like a robot that was kind of like the Amazo android.
Oh, nice.
Where it mimicked the gargoyle's abilities and intelligence. The more it watched them fight.
Yeah, there you go. The next Coyote model.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Coyote model in some ways, but it was supposed to be like a prototype 2 Coyote.
Cool. Well, we had 5 so far. There's going to be a 6th one leading Ultra Pack if the comics continue. But anyway, my answer to this question, I've actually got 2. Normally, I don't do this because, like you said, Wiseman has created so many great characters. What do I need to add? But sometimes, depending on the story I want to tell, there's a basis for it. Like, Thalag in the comic books took all the clan's DNA again, including Angela's. He didn't get Angela's in Season 2 during the Reckoning. And I was thinking about this for a while. I mean, Demona didn't want an Angela clone. She wanted the actual Angela. What happened when she was faced with a clone of her own daughter who she could maybe manipulate to being the daughter she thinks she wants? And the question fascinated me, and I ended up involved with some friends who told this story where Demona briefly, for a time, retook Nightstone Unlimited from Thalag, found this Angela clone there, ordered it destroyed, and then made another attempt to bring Angela to her side, got rejected, and then she said, you know what, I'm going to keep this thing. So she programmed it. The clone is named Cordelia. We chose that name because Thalag is partly based on Edmund from King Lear, and I wanted another King Lear name, so she looks a lot like Angela. She's got Thalag colors, and Demona programmed her to be the daughter she thought she wanted with a lot of her ideals, and then she proceeded to treat this clone like shit because she still would have preferred having the original one, and this really messed her up, and
I see.
And, and eventually she did get over it. She did somewhat redeem herself because at the core of it all, she was still a clone from Angela, and Demona fucked this poor thing over. And another one, which is another story post-Time Dance from Brooklyn Got Back. I mean, there was a time when Brooklyn chased anything with a skirt, as long as it had wings, before he met Katana, who appeared in the last issue of the comics as his maiden. And I wondered, what if there was an instance where he almost hooked up with somebody else, and this was the instant where he had to learn not to chase any female gargoyle he met. So we figured during this Time Dances, he met a female gargoyle who was eventually named Tamora after the Shakespeare character from Titus Andronicus, and we took a lot of his characters' traits and put them in this gargoyle, and so yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing, and this gargoyle ended up becoming the first gargoyle member of the Illuminati long before Thalog, and so Brooklyn didn't know if she was alive and didn't encounter her again as a high-ranking member of the Illuminati in modern times. The story is still in development, but there you go. So that's two of them. All
right, that's cool. So thanks for that question, Travis. Now we move on to some douchebag who thinks he's all that. What was his name? GregXB3. Do you know that guy, Greg?
No, that guy's an asshole.
This guy sounds like a douche.
For the record, I posted this before I was asked, to be honest.
Yeah. Look at this douche.
Look at this douche.
Yeah, look at that douchebag. Look at that douchebag. I'm just doing my most horrible rendition of Nathan from Metalocalypse.
Nice. Okay, what did I ask?
You don't even remember your question. That's great.
It was late at night.
Which spin-off would you most want to see made? Gargoyles 2198, Pendragon, New Olympus, Time Dancer, Heroes of Ulster, Dark Ages, or more bad guys? Now, I knew bad guys, and I was close to buying it once, but I didn't have enough money. Pendragon, New Olympians I knew was going to be made, Time Dancer, and Gargoyles in 198. I never knew about Ulster and Pendragon.
Pendragon's based on King Arthur and his adventures around the world, searching for Merlin with Griff while fighting the Illuminati.
I know, Cat. Which one do you like?
Me? My pick would be, I loved Bad Guys. By the way, good luck finding Bad Guys. The graphic novel's out of print and it's going for insane prices on Amazon.com. It's the cheapest is $140. Most expensive is like $900. This is ridiculous. No one's gonna pay that. Even I wouldn't pay that, and I love this shit.
Yeah.
But
I would go for more bad guys. I love villain stories. I don't know why.
I would go for. I think for TV it would have to be 2198. I think especially since so much time has passed since the original show, you could put that on the air with minimal baggage. The real returning characters are Owen, a time travel in Brooklyn, and Demona. And aside from that whole new cast, whole new environment, you don't need to reference things too much. So it's not like you need to have 65 episodes and 18 comics to memorize to go into this. So that, and I really want to see what happens to Demona in the future. And Wiseman's right up described it as either her last chance at redemption or her final opportunity to destroy the human race. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Sister finally got the cat out. It's no high-pitched wailing.
Sorry.
Yeah, for me, it would have to be more bad guys. Maybe New Olympians would be cool. I'd like to see... Proteus was an underrated villain, I thought.
They had another villain played for the show. You can read about him on Garg Wiki called Jove, who was basically wants to go back to the days when humans worshipped Olympians as gods.
I was kind of wondering, for New Olympians, would they try to bring in, the Titans or something?
Probably. I know Xanatos is planning to be a villain on that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me it's 2198. Easy answer.
Alright. So, next question comes from Robert Laszlo, and he asks, Robert Larson. Sorry, Robert Larson. Hope I'm saying that last name right. What would you think of a live-action Gargoyles movie?
I would think if it's based on the show at this point, my preference would be that it would be good, first of all. But if not, I would hope it would at least inspire Disney to plug money into the property to exploit it more. So, okay, if you had a bad movie come out, but we got new comics or new TV show, I could forgive the bad movie for giving us that. I mean, Last Airbender, for better or worse, Goddess, Legend of Korra, again, for better or worse.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, and I know that's coming.
For me, I don't know. It'd have to be someone who respects the source material.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that question, Robert. Next comes Sleepyhead Extreme, and this person asks, when it comes to gargoyle types, beaked, webbed, winged, or animal, if you could make a new type, what would it be? How about aquatic gargoyle?
They have that planned, the Loch Ness clan.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Greg has that planned.
Sweet. Aquatic, yeah, there you go. Aquatic gargoyles, or maybe hybrid gargoyles that are kind of like they're half human, half gargoyle, like a clan of like outcasted ones.
Yeah, well, Delilah sort of counts, but Greg has repeatedly said humans and gargoyles can't procreate together, so Goliath at least will never have biological children.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, it's safe sex.
Yeah, if she can handle it.
Yeah, talk about a crazy night, huh? How do we get here?
Well, Wiseman has gone into this subject more in depth than somebody might think. I'll just give the cleanest thing he said about this. There are lots of ways to make love. Yeah, this is game PG-13.
You don't have to be PG-13 here. It's just, say what you want.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, I suppose, Delilah sort of counts. Yeah, she's out 90% gargoyle with human cosmetics to make her look like Elisa, but... And I know, apparently, there's a Delilah in 2198 who's descended from this one who feels like she's outcast from both species because of this, so... Both of your suggestions are kind of getting them.
Sweet. Think that had Sleepyhead. Alright, so next question comes from Austin Stang? Oh, I'm so sorry if I am butchering your last name, sir. I am really sorry, because I really butcher these names sometimes.
You and Doug Walker.
Yeah, so... I'm really sorry I butchered your last name, but Austin asks, who do you feel was the best developed and least developed villain in the hero and Gargoyles universe? So one hero, one villain. What do you think is the best developed hero and best developed villain? Okay, best developed villain. Demona. There is no question. Demona. It's close between her and Xanatos.
Yeah, Demona had like 8 episodes devoted to her backstory alone.
Yeah. Best developed hero. That's a tough one.
I guess I would have to say, Goliath grows a lot throughout the series, but let's see, Broadway grows also. He goes from this, we meet him as this overeating oaf who's illiterate, learns to read, falls in love with Angela, and he develops Brooklyn that goes from young teen to a leader, and if you read the comics, he really changes there.
Yeah. I get it, I'm old. I love that line in the radio play.
Yeah, me too. And I'd have to say least developed, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because you do get to know him, but Hudson's pretty much the same guy all throughout. He wakes up in modern times, finds what he likes, a TV and a recliner chair, and while he still participates, he's still a warrior, he's already old and set in his ways.
Yeah. Lexington, Lex becomes the tech guy really fast.
Yeah. Well, not to ridiculous extent, he's not building time machines or dimensional portals or anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love you, Donatello.
Yeah, and we also find out that Lexington kind of didn't really have much in the comics. We find out that Lexington, for those who know, wasn't really that interested in Angela after all.
No, he wasn't. To be fair, a lot of us called that while watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed he gave up fat. He gave up first. I mean, he was only pursuing her because his two brothers were, and it seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, yeah, Lex is gay.
Yeah, he is. I was in the room when this was revealed.
Yeah.
At the 2003 gathering, at one of the Q&As, a fan got up and asked, "So what's the deal with Lex? Is he gay or what?" And Greg Weisman sitting there, Tom Adcock is Lex's voice actor sitting next to him, and Greg, you can tell they're not planning to reveal this, says, "Yes, he's gay." And then Tom Adcock shouts, "I knew it!" And as for least developed villain, again, maybe a bit of an easy answer, but some of the newer villains introduced in the comics, I mean, they're intriguing, but we really only got one page of Duvall and a couple pages of Fleur and Parader Fat Ragnall, who's the leader of the Illuminati.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, that, to say they're underdeveloped is not a... Because it sucks, too, because they would have gotten more development.
Yeah.
I think if you want to go by show, I'd say Wolf.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Wolf.
You know, Wolf was just...
I think of villains who appeared in more than one episode. I mean, Wolf, Dracon?
Dracon was very... Like, because he's a punk. He's someone like Spawn... Like, he's a Spawn villain, a one-off Spawn villain.
He's fun for what he is, though, but I've seen better mobster characters. I've seen Wiseman write better mobster characters. I love his version of Tombstone.
Yeah. So, think of that question, Austin?
Yeah.
If you want to move on to the next one?
Yes. Please.
Okay. Fire Tools asks, how would you react if you were physically pulled into the Gargoyles universe and met these characters?
Let's see. My favorite character is Demona, but I don't think I want to meet her.
Yeah. Hang on a second. We don't need to stop or anything. Just give me. Just hang on a second.
Sure.
All right. So you were saying?
Anyway, Demona's my favorite character, but I don't think I want to meet her.
Yeah, me either. That's a bitch I don't want to meet. I'd love to meet my boy Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn would be fun. Any of the trio would be fun. Angela too. She'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I met Xanatos, I mean, part of me wants to ask him for a job, but you know what? He doesn't have much use out of me. I don't think I would end up in the Jenny Tech division, thankfully. I mean,
yeah. The thing is that I'm not good with these kind of questions, and I never thought I'd be asked one of these because it's kind of like one of those bad fan fiction where like I'm suddenly pulled into the world. It's insane.
I've written fic. I've never written any fic like this. My mind just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
If I were pulled into the Gargoyles universe, if I ever met any of these characters, it would be during the closest it would happen is if something was happening in front of me, a crime or something, and they just showed up, did their thing, and left.
Yeah. So they just look at you and be like, "Sup," and leave.
Yeah.
Or they'd say some other dumb shit like "Stay in school."
No, they wouldn't do that. Greg writes better dialogue with that. No. If we met the 80s G.I. Joe, that's what they would do. They would ask you what you learned, what you know.
Yeah.
And only this half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
That was a fun question that I didn't really have an answer for, but thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Fire Tools. Next comes Boo Rat 1. Using an alternate account, but same old Boo Rat. That's how I say his name. I'm going back an oldie question for me, but what is your favorite piece of Gargoyle merchandise that you ever owned or wanted? Me, I loved my Cold Stone action figure. He was my favorite of the secondary characters. So he's basically asking, what Gargoyles toy did we love as a kid to own? He had a Cold Stone figure.
A few years ago, I commissioned a beautiful custom Demona action figure. It cost me a pretty penny. It's sitting on my shelf. I'm looking at it right now. It's done in Marvel Legends style. I mean, the guy who made it, Anthony's Customs, was great. Look him up. Spent 50 hours working on them.
Sweet.
Have you ever seen this?
No, I've never seen this.
I'm going to send you a picture in the window in the Skype chat, so...
No. I'll look at it later. We got questions to do. Don't distract me.
Sure. Oh, yeah. So anyway, you guys just look up Anthony's Customs, Demona, you'll find it.
All right. So thank you for that question. Oh, I didn't answer my half.
No, you didn't.
I used to own a Brooklyn figure. Because
the one with no neck.
Huh?
The one with no neck.
Yeah, the one with where it's just kind of him crouched on the ground and you could open the jaws.
Yeah, no neck Brooklyn.
Yeah, no neck Brooklyn. It's actually if I remember right, I was about 5-6 years old when I got this figure, and I think.
Oh, you're so young. I was 13 when the show aired.
When I was about 5 or 6, and for me, when Gargoyles was taken out, that was my shit right there. That was my shit. And with Gargoyles, in terms of figures, if I remember right, I was in a Walmart or some other store. I was in the toy aisle with my mom, and my mom said, pick out a toy. I'm like, this never happens with you. And that's so I found I looked around and I found Brooklyn, and Brooklyn was my favorite figure. So yeah, Brooklyn was my favorite character, so I picked a Brooklyn figure, and I lost the toy. I feel bad now.
Well, you can find it on eBay pretty cheap. But the first one I ever bought...
You see, I'm not really into toy collecting. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'd buy it, and then it'd be like it'd just be sitting there.
Yeah, it's like that with adult collectors. But I remember the first one I bought was the Xanatos figure. I remember the gray armor, the gray-green armor. I was so happy when they released that a couple years later in red armor, but it didn't look like the show's model. And at some point, I'm going to ask Anthony to make me a armored Xanatos that actually is some model.
Cool.
And yeah.
Anyway, you want to move on to the next question?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
CVM Kid 26 asks, since Disney owns the rights to both Marvel and Gargoyles, would you like to see the two universes cross over? If so, what hero, team, or even villain would you like to see team up? Personally, I'd like to see them team up with Spidey or Daredevil.
I have a very complicated answer to this one. I love the radio play. It was a fun one-off, but I would not want to see that become a permanent thing. Both universes are so vastly different.
Really? Spider-Man and wait, Marvel Universe and Gargoyles Universe are vastly different. You're going to say that to me right now.
Yeah, well, time travel works differently in both of them. You can change the past and history, and in Marvel, look what Age of Ultron's doing now. You can't do that in Gargoyles. That's different. I mean, the rules of magic are very different. I mean...
Well, there's very different variations, and in the Marvel Universe, you always find something different. So I think you could pass off that what happens in Gargoyles can be worked in the Marvel Universe.
I think it'd be a fun one-shot thing, or it's an alternate universe title. But I mean, I don't think the two universes are all that compatible. I mean, you know how fans of Thor are. I mean, I love Thor also, but the moment you reveal, oh, Odin serves Lord Oberon, they're gonna throw a hissy fit. You know that.
I still say it can work.
Fair enough.
I mean, we're finding out that Thanos isn't the end. We found out recently, a long time ago, that Galactus wasn't the end-all, be-all being. So who's to say, Oberon's not the father of all mystical beings?
Well, he's not even the father of all mystical beings in Gargoyles. He's just the ruler of these things. He only has a few biological children among them. That being said, his mom, Queen Mab, was even more powerful than him. Greg Plan introduced in season 3. He overthrew her to take the throne of Avalon because she was crazy and kind of evil. Now there's something I want to see if the show ever comes back or the comics.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you could work in Oberon. You could easily say, oh, hey, this thing is the father, the Lord and Master of all mystical beings. Hey, Thor, this is your boss. But yeah, I could see that. In terms of Marvel characters in that universe, I would say characters like, again, Spider-Man, Daredevil. I could see.
And I guess this is more personal. The reason I wouldn't necessarily want them in the Marvel Universe on a permanent basis is I don't want Joe Quesada to have say over them.
Or Jeff Loeb.
Or Jeff Loeb. Goliath and Elisa's love was impossible. They shouldn't be together. So let's split them up. They can't be together.
Yeah, excuse me while I eat this hoagie. And Jeff Loeb is like, I just don't like their relationship. I hate relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the character development would be undone. And I mean, Magneto's a villain sometimes, then he's a hero, then he's a villain, and I don't know what they would put Demona through in that regard.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for that question, CVM. Next question comes from Zach the Thunder King, and he pretty much says, favorite moments in Gargoyles. Can we answer that?
I've already said the access code is alone is one of them. I love the Goliath Elisa kiss when that finally happens. I mean, almost any moment Thalog's on screen is fun. Almost any Xanatos moment is fun. I mean, there's just so many. I mean,
there's too many to count, dude. I'm sorry, Zach. I'm really sorry, Zach. We can't answer that question, but there's too much.
I mean, I would call all three parts of Hunter's Moon Part 3 as TV tropes would call it a crowning moment of awesome.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Zach. We can't answer that other than booyah. It's all awesome. Alright. So thank you for that question, Zach. Now moving on to the Okinawa Kid Prime, and he asks, how would the Gargoyles react to Korra and the gang if they were accidentally transported to Republic City?
Demona murders Mako. End of story. Please, I'm kidding, but well, I'd like to think that would happen, and as much as I love Demona, and as much as I'm currently not enjoying Korra as a person, I tend to think Korra would kick her ass. I mean, gliding's an advantage one has, but the second one against their vendor.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with the Gargoyles, Korra and the rest of them being Korra being Korra, she'd be like, demons, gotta smash them. And Gargoyles would be like, girl, you tripping. Not exactly those words, mind you.
Wait, does Simone have a bazooka in this scenario?
No, she doesn't. But the Gargoyles would be like, bitch, you tripping. Again, not the exact context of the words, but
I suppose the equalists are pretty quarrymen-like. I mean, and of course I'm talking about the quarrymen in the comics, not the one-dimensional thugs they turned them into in the Goliath Chronicles, which we won't speak of.
We will not. I think it'd be fun. Don't get me wrong, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Mako
dies in this.
Yeah, Mako dies. And Mako dies. Not even heroically. Demona just bashes him in the head repeatedly with a mace. It's kind of like that scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre when you first see Leatherface.
That's nicer than the fate I would give him.
Oh yeah, he gets disemboweled by Demona, that's right.
No, that one's even nicer than the ultimate fate I would give him, but well, Mako loves the ladies, so we put Mako up on a rack, and then later Korra or somebody gets a box. This was Mako's favorite toy. He cried when I took it away from him. Sorry, I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. You get that one, I hope.
I did. Alright, so you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, I'm sorry, after I've disturbed everybody. My apologies.
Yeah. So, the Spawn117 asks, what do you think of a Gargoyles Alien crossover, or a Gargoyles Predator, or Gargoyles Darksiders crossover? And yeah, what do we think? What would out of those three? What would you want basically?
Well, this would be tough. As most of you do aliens, it would have to be in the 2198 setting with Space Swan and everything. Maybe the xenomorphs or weapons they use, and it'd have to be in the 2198 setting. I mean,
Yeah.
I suppose we could see the Predator coming down to hunt some game, but
Yeah, and hunting Goliath would be awesome.
yeah. Another hunter.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Goliath would be like a hunter from beyond the stars. That's impossible.
Well, he's met Nokar.
Yeah, he's met Nokar, but I think the whole alien thing is kind of lost on him.
Yeah, like I said, with Xenomorphs would have to go off the space one and take place in 2198.
Yeah. So I guess for me, Predator, for you, Aliens?
Yeah.
Alright. So thank you for that question, Spawn. Moving on to Jason Voorhees 2011, and he asks, okay, he pretty much asks, the serious question is, what do you think of an X-Men Gargoyles crossover?
I'll admit, this one leaves me a little bit cold, just because, I mean, they both fill certain niches, but I love the X-Men movies, but I haven't read an X-Men comic in so long, I can't even keep track of who's dead and who's not alive, but the only thing that's ever intrigued me, that I've ever given thought about, because people have asked me many times, what if the woman met Magneto? And I tend to think she would see him as just a human who could destroy tanks, but I think she would try to do what she normally does, make an ally, manipulate him, and then backstab him, and I think he would be compassionate to her and understand her plight, but it wouldn't last long, especially once the backstabbing happened.
Yeah.
And she'd backstab him.
I think how it would go from how I'd write is like maybe Xanatos is fronting a new Sentinel project.
Steel Clan Sentinels, why not?
Well, I mean just Sentinels with Xanatos' technology.
Maybe.
Yeah, that could work. Or Savaris is working with Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, I mean I can't see Xanatos taking. Xanatos I can't see as a bigot. He wouldn't want to. I mean he might have control over Sentinels, but he wouldn't want to wipe out mutants or do that because he enjoys controlling things. He's not wasteful like that.
Yeah. So I could see like Dr. Savaris working with Mr. Sinister. You remember him?
Yeah, I remember Mr. Sinister. I could see John Castaway and Graydon Creed maybe merchant forces to.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Castaway and Graydon Creed working together.
The Illuminati would love this. They'd have hands all over the place in every pie.
Yeah, they'd have hands in everyone. And, oh man, like, them...
Sebastian Shaw would be revealed as not only the leader of Hellfire Club and a member of the Illuminati.
Yeah, Shaw... Oh yeah, Shaw would make a great member of the Illuminati.
So would Emma Frost.
Yeah, Emma too, and maybe they could say that Magneto was offered. But he said no. In the most horrible way possible.
I think they'd be too smart to offer, and they'd go for people who they know are going to say yes.
So maybe like someone like Boulevard Trask or...
Yeah, maybe. Maybe controlling all sides of the conflict.
Yeah, of the mutant gargoyle conflict. So thank you for that question. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Thanks. I actually had more fun with that than I thought I would. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. So next comes Burnouter7, and he asks, what do you think of Batman Gargoyles crossover? And he's asking this pretty much because he's trying to do a Batman Gargoyles crossover himself.
I don't know if I can think of this along the lines of how it would involve the Gargoyles specifically, but I would think it would be a lot of fun to have Xanatos and Bruce Wayne match wits.
Yeah, I've actually always wanted to see Batman and Xanatos confront one another. That was actually supposed to be a fight I was going to do for Section 15, the final fights, but my friend the Mount Vernon kid took that, so I had to change to something else.
I mean, we've seen Batman go against Lex Luthor many times, so Xanatos is very different from Lex Luthor. He doesn't have the temper Luthor has. Well, he has an ego. It's not crippling. Xanatos is not the type to try to destroy his enemies just to use them or work around them. I mean, Xanatos will be very different from any of most of DC's other megalomaniacs.
Yeah, and that's another thing with the Illuminati. You could bring in the Illuminati and have them, like Ra's al Ghul a member.
You know, they'll probably say, would Ra's join? But hey, he joined the Light Young Justice. Why not?
Yeah, he pretty much, and even I could see them going to Luthor.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, depends on which version of Luthor. There's some, but I mean, when I think of Luthor, I think of the DC animated universe version. Most who does have a temper, who does lose his cool, and who I do think Xanatos would run circles around.
Yeah, I could even see them approaching. I can actually see that Ra's al Ghul and Macbeth have crossed paths before.
Yeah, I can see that. Damon and Ra's also.
Yeah. Maybe something like, yeah, you could have Demona working with Raish. There you go.
Yeah, he wants to reduce the population. She wants to reduce all of the population.
Yeah, but it just depends on who's manipulating who.
He's smart. She is. I love Demona. She's very intelligent. He's smarter than she is.
Yeah, she lets her anger get in the way. Raish is just like, she has no idea what she's in for. Okay, so there we go. I don't know if you could work the Joker in there. That's the truth. Just throwing that out there because I'm pretty sure someone was like, "Hey, what about the Joker?" I don't know. Goliath punches him in the balls. I don't know.
Joker tries to make Goliath laugh.
Yeah.
Keep him away from Elisa. I don't want another Barbara Gordon situation.
All right, so next question comes from Senior Nerd, and he asks, "Would you like to see Gargoyles in a Gargoyles level in Kingdom Hearts 3?"
Yes.
Yes. Fuck yes. I'd love to have like Goliath as the party member. Yeah. Have Demona as a boss fight, Xanatos as a boss fight.
Really annoying Steel Clan powered Heartless.
Yeah.
Or Heartless powered Steel Clan, yeah.
Yeah. I'd really like to see that. I would even like to see, Oberon as a boss fight would be cool.
I don't think they'd do Oberon. I think they would stick to Xanatos and Demona since they're the most well-known villains.
Yeah, good point. Maybe they bring in the... Actually, you know what? I think they bring in the Pack.
Pack, yeah.
Yeah, multiple boss fight. We've had that before in the games.
Yeah. I think Demona would overall be the main villain, the one working with them, with the Heartless, to try to accomplish whatever goals she's... Destruction of humanity, power over the other Gargoyles, but as usual, it blew up in her face.
Yeah. So, in other words, yes.
Yeah, totally.
Alright. Next question comes from Alistair Boneman? Hope I'm saying that name right. And he asks, "Are you going to do How It Should Have Ended?"
How much should have ended?
Yeah, this was meant for Gargoyles. I'm sorry, but I don't do How It Should Have Ended at all. That's a Stars program. So I'm sorry. That's not a question pertaining to Gargoyles.
How it should have ended? Well, it should have ended under Wiseman's pen, not the Goliath Chronicles pen.
Yeah. There you go. There's the pretense we can go to. Again, sorry, but that's not a question not trying to be a jerk here, but it's not a question to the show we're talking about. Sorry. I'm sorry. Next question comes from, so I guess thank you for that question, I guess. Dark Master of Cupcakes.
I love that name. You have the best name ever.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, he asked me a question you told me about. Dark Master of Cupcakes asks, "How excited are you that they're finally releasing the second part of of the second season on the Disney Movie Club?"
I've got my copy.
I don't have any money, so sucks to be me. But I'm really excited.
DisneyStore.com. It's widely available. I mean, to members, if you don't have to join any club, you just have to have a credit card or sometime. Go on to DisneyStore.com. It's there. All 26 episodes. They're uncut, uncensored, and they haven't aired like that since 1997. So those of you who grew up watching them on Disney, you've never seen the show uncut. So you get to hear Fang say "hinky." Oberon takes the harpoon to the chest. It's great. I'm really happy to have it.
Thank you for that plug.
Hey, if we get more people to buy it, why not?
Yeah. So next question, thank you for that question, Dark Master of Cupcakes. Next question comes from OverNerd2, excuse me. "If they announced that Gargoyles would be coming back, how would you want them to do it, and would you make it in a continuation from where the last episode left off, or something new? How about we do how about a continuation but skip Goliath Chronicles?"
Well, like the comics. Just if they're gonna do the exact same show, just take the comics already out, animate them, and continue from there. You'd have about let's see, 1, 2, 3. You have about 4 episodes worth of comics there. So 4 episodes, pick up from there.
Yeah.
Or if not, like I said, I think Gargoyles 2198 stands the best chance because it has the least amount of baggage. But I don't want to reboot. Don't start over from the beginning. The show doesn't need it.
Well, we've been getting a lot of rebooted shows like Shaolin Chronicles, We've been getting a new Code Lyoko show.
Yeah, well, hopefully if they do more Gargoyles, Disney will go to Wiseman first. They know he wants to do it, so...
Yeah. He'll just be like, so we're talking about a new Gargoyle show. I'm in.
Yeah. But, yeah, a continuation I don't want to read.
Alright. There you go. There's your question. There's your answer.
I'll be honest, in some cases, I don't want to hear anyone else in the service play Demona.
So thank you for that question, OverNerd02. Next comes MB Free. Hope I'm not butchering that name. And he asks, how would you have it if gargoyles fought werewolves or vampires or something like Man-Bat? So I'm guessing...
Well, all things are true in the Gargoyles universe. Why not? They already sort of fought the Werefox in Eye of the Beholder in Season 2 when Fox put on the Eye of Odin and became the Werefox.
Yeah. So why not, actual werewolves and vampires?
They exist.
You could actually say they are the fourth and fifth race.
No, they're a disease. There's only the three races, but they exist in the Gargoyles universe. Why didn't it confirmed? Vampires exist. Werewolves exist.
Yeah. So you could have it like a whole season of them caught in this, war between vampires and werewolves that's broken out in New York.
You had Werepanthers also in one episode.
Yeah. So yeah, you could do that. You could, I think you could work in Dracula.
Greg has plans for Dracula. He specifically said this, yes.
This man is magical. He is the Josh Whedon of animation.
Yes, he is.
So there you go. Dracula. There's a possibility of Dracula in a Gargoyles novel.
Gargoyles comic, yeah, maybe. If they ever get more, please do.
So yeah, that'd be fun. Thank you for that question, MB Free. Next question comes from Mr. Emerald123. He asks, if you could play the voice of any Gargoyles character, who would it be and why? I don't think I could do any Gargoyles characters.
No.
I'm sorry, I don't think I could do that.
I can't either, no.
Sorry.
Yeah, I want to take Keith David's place, yeah.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, this voice totally screams.
I will take Keith David's place. I will voice the mighty Goliath. What sorcery is this? No, you don't want that.
I could. Yeah, this voice totally screams. Brooklyn, right? I'm sorry, Mr. Emerald. I'm not busting your balls. I'm just saying it's impossible for us to do that.
I'm imagining he was the Archmage right now instead of David Warner.
Really?
No.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Anyway, thank you for that question, Mr. Emerald. Now moving on to Death Christ 2000. And he asks, what are your thoughts on the Gargoyles saga? Once again, sorry about last Q&A. You have more to say about this than I do.
The Gargoyles saga was a fanfic continuation of Gargoyles done in the late 90s. I joined that thing near the end of when they started planning the first season, and I was a newbie. I didn't want to say, maybe you guys should do this, and there's some good stuff in there. There are some things I disagree with, and I'm still friends with a lot of those people, so...
oh, this was the RP you were telling me about, isn't it?
No, this isn't an RP. This was a fanfic project back in the early 90s, but, no, late 90s, and it premiered around 1997, and it ran for a few years, and, again, I'm still friends with a lot of the people who worked on that, and they know how I feel about some of the creative choices, and we didn't always agree with each other, but, if you want to see Demona be reform overnight, thanks to Angela waving a finger in her face, have Christmas dinner with the clan 2 months after the Hunter's Moon incident, and then become friends with a hippie artist, go read the Gargoyles saga. Yeah, they Draco and Lover Panster.
You told me about this story. You told me about this before we did this.
Again, I'm still friends with a lot of these people, and I don't mean this personally. It's yeah. So it was very ambitious. I learned a lot about writing from it, both positive and negative examples. I mean, we're all a bunch of amateur writers. I mean, some aspects of it were pretty good, and but at this point, especially since we have the comics, I mean, if you're curious, go check it out, but it's not something I feel the need to ever revisit myself.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that question. I don't have any say in it because I've never read it. You just brought it to my attention only today. Just today.
Yeah, I looked ahead, I saw that question was coming, and I was thinking, oh no, how am I going to answer this?
So there's your answer, Death Christ. So next question is, ActionFan19 asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome would it be for Gargoyles to meet Masters of the Universe?
You take this one. I'm not a Masters of the Universe expert at all.
I'd have to go a 6 because it would be very interesting. You'd have to play up, not only getting there but also defining their powers because the Masters of the Universe are pretty damn powerful people.
That's why they're the Masters of the Universe.
So, 6 out of 10. That's just me. That's the quick answer. So we're down to the last 3 questions. Actually, no, 2, because Grimlock1992 already gave us the question. So the next question comes from Omnitron12345, and he asks, if you could have one superhero in their rogues gallery exist in New York of the Gargoyles universe, who would it be and why?
Spectacular Spider-Man. We've seen Wiseman do that with a great radio play. I love that thing. I was in that thing.
Oh, yeah. Were you, huh?
Yeah, so I got to... Yeah, Keith David, Josh Keaton, Marina Sirtis, me.
Me. I just love that. Me.
Yeah, there were a lot of fans and professionals in that thing. Tom Adcock was in that also. Lisa Gabrielli, Steve Bloom.
Yeah. I heard Steve Bloom had a gas doing that.
Oh, he did. He had a lot of fun doing that. Marina Sirtis got to call Lisa a human whore in that one.
Yeah. It's so much fun. I wish there was more Gargoyles. I know. I'll call Walt Disney.
It was... I mean, I knew he could do the voice, but when we did rehearsals, and I heard Steve Bloom, that voice come out of Steve Bloom for the first time in person, I was thinking, whoa. and I was obsessed with Spectacular Spider-Man. I've watched those episodes 1,000 times before that radio play, but it was still weird hearing it in person.
Yeah. So, for me, I would go with Spider-Man as well, but I'd also go with Ninja Turtles. They delve with supernatural and paranormal stuff, and they kind of do the same things as the Gargoyles. They hide in the shadows, protect humanity, and, they've got a human ally.
At least the monster could kick April's ass. I'm sorry.
Well, it depends on which April you're talking about.
I guess so.
Well, actually, there was one fan fiction I read that was really good. I can't find it anymore, but the fan fiction in question it was where the Elisa met the Turtles and April at the same time met the Gargoyles.
Alternate universe?
No, not alternate universe. It was like they both met the separate groups by accident.
Okay, which version of April? I'm curious.
It wasn't the '80s one. It was the
yeah, for the best.
It was the 2003. Yeah, 2003 Turtles and Gargoyles.
I mean, just for the record, I enjoy the '87 cartoon. It's goofy as all hell, but I do enjoy it, and I love their version of Casey Jones, Lawbreaker.
Yeah, so that'd be me. Turtles or Spider-Man, and all their villains. Because how cool would it be to see Goliath punch Krang?
That is so easy to picture. Well, I think a punch from Goliath could actually kill him. It would be like that one college humor video of Ninja Turtles use their weapons.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
I've seen that. So, anyway.
That guy's not even a supervillain.
Alright, so you want to go on to the next question?
Yeah, sure. That was a fun one, thanks.
Alright. So our final question comes from Wolfman the Impaler, and he asks, if they made a live-action movie, who out of following would you want to direct? Guillermo del Toro, Josh Whedon, or Chris Nolan?
Not Nolan. I don't think Nolan's style matches up with it. And I like Nolan, don't get me wrong. I just think his tone isn't right for Gargoyles. I mean, but if it was Josh Whedon, Greg would have a field day. He loves Josh Whedon.
Well, he's the Josh Whedon of animation. I can understand why.
And Josh Whedon's his personal hero.
I would say none of the above. I'm going to go with Kenneth Branagh.
I was just about to say that. Holy crap.
Well, Kenneth Branagh, he works with such Shakespearean work, and, well, fucking A, it's...
He'd get it.
Yeah, he'd get it. So, yeah, Kenneth Branagh for me. For those who don't know, that's the guy who directed Thor. For those who remember.
And I own all his Shakespeare movies on DVD, too. Yeah, I'm that kind of geek.
Alright. Actually, we got one more question from the last call. I forgot. Apparently, we have one more question. So this is not the last question. This is FlameKid100 asks, do you think the Gargoyles can make it as DC characters? If so, where in the DC universe do you think you could see them?
This is a tough one for me. Mostly because the DC universe is a brighter and more optimistic place where their heroes are looked up to, and they have museums in their honors. They're given keys to the city, and yeah, that's. I mean, I like the DC universe. It's a bit more fantastic. I mean, the fantastic stuff is more out in the open in DC than it is in Gargoyles.
Yeah.
I mean, tone-wise, I'm not quite sure. I mean, yeah, I suppose it could be done. I just right now I cannot think of how it could be done. You?
I don't know. I don't want to say Gotham. That's the thing. I don't want to say Gotham.
Yeah, Greg would really be happy to hear you not say Gotham, because he describes Gotham as New York City at its worst, and this isn't a diss, that's what it is, that's how it's designed to be. It's the worst city in the world. He wants Goliath Manhattan to sort of have danger, but also have beauty and optimism, and there's no beauty in Gotham.
Yeah, it has Batman anyway. So if I was to pick another town, a city, I don't know. I don't know. Like in New York,
Metropolis doesn't need them either. So
yeah, Metropolis doesn't need them. Any of the superheroes have got it. I mean, they've each got their own little huts. They live, their own little homes they live in. New York, it's home to every superhero, so I could see them working better in the Marvel universe.
There was sort of a Gargoyles crossover with DC done about 10 years ago, I think, when Greg wrote a short Captain Atom story for JLA Giant, where a bunch of Gargoyles awoke in Paris when Captain Atom kissed Plastique on Notre Dame, and their leader was named Behemoth. There was his ex-wife Diabolique, the mentor, his Behemoth's evil twin Thommy-Heb. It was pretty funny. Have you ever seen this?
I think I have, actually.
So there you go, Paris. Bring back Behemoth. Have Diabolique try to destroy the world.
Yeah. Alright, guys, so that was the Q&A.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad you had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
And those are some pretty good questions. And, yes, Demona Guts Mako. I'm going to say it again. Demona Guts Mako. I don't like Mako.
I know people who do, and that's fine. I don't like Mako either.
Yeah, it's fine. My brother and I have debated Mako a lot, and I'm sure if he listens to this, we'll debate him some more.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A, and we will see you guys later.
Yep, thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Goodbye, everyone.